Hello YouTube, my name's Sean Connors and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video reply to the PhD and D. I love the title, by the way. It's a great new channel I've just come across, really well worth checking out. I'm going to put a link at the bottom to his channel, either the video I've seen or his channel, but you'll get the gist. You can subscribe if you want to. Very interesting, very deep philosophical conversation on the video which drew me in about paradigm shift, NPCs and paradigm shift, and quite rightly he was touching on some very good points about quite a lot of DMs tend to use NPCs really as just a small piece of information providing tool really, and not really much more, and that they, in essence they're missing the greater point of what it is that these NPCs can be. And he's absolutely right. And I suppose if I want to try and go in a little bit more deeper around his video, that the way I can do this is probably through the way I design the games I put together. I obviously think about the world as a whole, so I'll start off, am I going to use a predetermined campaign world, or am I going to use one I design? We won't debate the merits of either here, but we have done on several videos, so I'm sure we'll do it again. But once I've settled on that, of course I've got to have a story that fits into that world, and so I will spend quite a bit of focus on that setting and building that story, the beginning, the middle and end to that story. And on that part, again, unrelated to this topic but important, one of my subscribers asked about how do you keep on point with campaigns, and we will cover that personally in another video. But for today's topic, it's going to be all about NPCs. And then of course you come down to, once you've got your story set, you come down to the NPCs. They're the most important part to the entire campaign. They are really, you just cannot possibly... I can't put a price on how valuable they are to me. They can give moments of fun when it's dark. They can bring an entire encounter to become more sinister than it really is. They are the world your players interact with. So they are the most important thing. It's the moment you get as a GM to breathe real life into your campaigns. Sure, you can describe things, and that's great. But I have a personal debate on how much description somebody actually needs, and this is another topic for another day. How much description is necessary, and the truth of it is that my view is it's enough so people understand the scene, but the truth of the real description comes through the NPCs. The life of your campaign is them. They are the lifeblood. They are the thing that will literally shift your player's perception. Use the word paradigm. But they will literally shift your player's perception from it's a game into it's something far more. The NPCs do that. The players, what you want on that night is that for a period of the night, because I'm not in the least bit surprised, people cannot focus 100%, but if for most of the evening you can get them to switch out of what they normally do into a mindset where, what a great game, this was fantastic fun, and what a wonderful world this was, and they really begin to talk in the colours that you've breathed into it. That will be primarily down to the fact that you're NPCs. Probably 70-30 over your description, I would have thought, somewhere in those ranges. The NPCs are absolutely critical to success. People might then ask, of course, the natural next question is, how do you go about playing NPCs? What do you do with them? And the only one answer I've got for this, and it's the only answer I can give because it's the only one I know. I mean, people like myself can teach you to ad-lib. Funny enough, ad-lib is a skill that everybody can learn. Not everybody can be great at it, but everybody can learn it. Everybody can learn the basics of it and pull off some bits. But the truth is, for myself, and I'm hoping that this is the case for a number of other experienced GMs, it might not be the case. The way I breathe life into my campaigns through my NPCs, of course there are going to be some that I massively prepare, and these are the ones that are meant to have meant to be the sort of big bad end guys, critical figures within the community, things like that. But the players are not always going to meet those, but you just have an idea or vision of those for in case such a situation occurs. Because I'm a great believer. I don't believe all roads lead to Rome. I put things in my game, and if players ignore it, they ignore it, and if they go down that route, great. But coming back to NPCs, and basically the ability to bring them to life and how you do it, I don't actually sweat about it. I just go for it. I don't think about it anymore. The way I've discovered that it works best for me is I don't know what I'm going to do before I do it. it's a shocking realisation. I don't plan certain bits because I know that I bring so much more value into the game when it's unplanned. And it feels for the players alive because they're interacting with something that is being created instantly. It is not an amalgamation of my thought processes long before the game. And that can be stifling as well because you can plan these things out meticulously and it can be so programmed it doesn't feel real in that moment of the game. So that's why your NPCs are so important, because they, without a doubt, they bring a life to the game that doesn't exist elsewhere. And the reason I play my NPCs, a lot of them like this, is that they often, because I like to breathe into them personalities, I like to breathe into them things they want to do and goals and various other meanings that they have. And I find that this creates loads of interesting side plots that, of course, I did not know were going to happen because I had not planned what the NPC was going to do. So it breathes a complete freshness into the games that I love. Now, of course, you have to be able to be experienced in terms of how to handle those type of events when they come into your games. But I found that it's because of a number of these events that the players become gravitated towards an NPC. And some of the more recent examples of some of those, I've got a chap who's basically, there's an area of this city which is very much like it's just absolutely dilapidated. There are people sleeping on rooftops all over the streets. It's incredibly run down, and literally the city's pushed all its poor into one area. And he's a bit of a godfather in that area. You know, he knows how to get things done. He's, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You owe me a favour, you better bloody pay it, sort of thing. And I've called him Miggins. It's his nickname. And all the children, it's like a Fagin character. You know, all the children work for him, and you know, he's got eyes and ears everywhere. All the beggars are all working for him. And it's an amalgamation of quick thinking has created a very, very grandiose character that I've been able to give a lot of mannerisms to. I've been able to bring him into the campaign, even though he had no part of it before the game had actually started. So how important is he? Massively. And yet he wasn't actually, you know, it's a non-player character. But the players gravitated towards him. They felt they could trust him. They got to a point where the city was so bloody evil that they realised that the one person they could trust, because at least he was telling them what he wants. I want this, and then I'll tell you that. And so they had a guy that, although they knew that his motives were pretty crooked, at least they were going to get a straight answer. And so it was a lot of fun building this web and this character and his mannerisms and the people that you work with. And it doesn't happen like totally instant, but it's built up over a period of time. Now, if the players had never dealt with him again, at least for the moment that they had, it felt real. It felt important. And even if we never see him again, at least it felt a part of my campaign. And also, it feels part of that world. Now, I'm not proposing for 1 second that many people can just build NPCs off the top of their head instantly, at all. But why I'm relaying this in this video is because obviously, you know, in your video about NPC paradigm shift, it's critically important people do think about it. You can do some work. You know, we've touched on this in other videos. You can put a name down. You can have some mannerisms. You can do the basics. You can even have a list of goals, yeah, and make them work no matter how weird it looks. You can make it work. But then you've still got to breathe it, make it alive. So my best way to do that is to throw yourself into every NPC. Really make them become important. But again, you have to never lose sight of one very important thing with NPCs, which is the difference. There are times when you can really play the NPC to its maximum and have fun with it, and there are other times where you're actually bogging the game down and losing the point of the campaign and the thread. And it's a fine line between overboard stuff and keeping it on point. And again, that comes through time and practice. But again, to answer your question and quickly to recap, for me, NPCs are without doubt the most critical part, even beyond my story. They are going to be the thing that breathes the life into the campaign world that I create. Anyway, I've been Sean Connors, my video for the day. Take care of yourselves and check out this channel. Anyway, all the best of you. Take care. Bye-bye.